For a lot of us, December 26th is all about two things: diving into Christmas leftovers and maybe, just maybe, hitting up some big sales. But have you ever actually stopped and thought, why do we call it Boxing Day? It's a name that hints at a much deeper and honestly way more interesting story than just shopping. So today, let's dive in and unbox this mystery together. Right, so when you think of December 26th, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most people, it's either crowded shopping malls with huge Boxing Day sales everywhere, or maybe a packed stadium for a big soccer or cricket match. It's basically become this massive day for just kicking back and shopping, which of course leads to the big, obvious question: where do the boxes come in? Exactly. Why Boxing Day? The name feels totally random, completely disconnected from anything we actually do on the holiday today. I mean, it's got nothing to do with fighting, and the only boxes we're usually dealing with are the ones with our new stuff in them. So, what's the real story? Where did this name actually come from? Okay, and this slide right here perfectly captures the puzzle we're trying to solve. Just look at the two sides. On the left, you've got the holiday we all know. It's about sales, sports, a day for us. But on the right, you see where it all began: a day for others, totally rooted in charity and social duty. To figure this out, we have to go way back in time and unpack those original boxes. So, our first clue takes us all the way back to the Middle Ages, and it's tied directly to the religious calendar. And we're not talking about presents under a tree here. This is about something much more fundamental to the whole spirit of the season. See, the dates, December 26th, is no accident. It's the feast of St. Stephen. Now, back in the day, saints were known for certain virtues. And St. Stephen, well, he was basically the guy when it came to one thing: his unwavering dedication to helping the poor. His story really set the theme for the entire day, making it all about charity and giving back. And here it is, our very first box. Churches used to keep a locked box called an alms box, and people would drop donations in it all year long. Then, on the day after Christmas, the Feast of St. Stephen, those boxes were finally opened, and all the money inside was given out to the needy. So Boxing Day was, quite literally, the day they opened the charity boxes. But believe it or not, that's only half the story. Now, for our second clue, let's jump forward in time a bit. This one has less to do with the church and a lot more to do with the really rigid social structure of Victorian England. Because inside the grand houses of the wealthy, we find another, very different kind of box. Just try to picture this for a second. For the rich families, Christmas Day was the absolute biggest celebration of the year. But who do you think was doing all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the serving? The household staff, of course. For servants, Christmas wasn't a holiday at all. It was probably one of the busiest, most demanding workdays of the entire year. Their own celebrations just had to wait. So here's how it worked. After working like crazy all through Christmas, servants were finally given December 26th off to go visit their own families. And as a thank you, their employer would give them a Christmas box, a real physical box with gifts, maybe some money, or even leftover food from the big feast. This box wasn't just a present, it was a bonus, a sign of gratitude for a whole year of hard work. Now, these two traditions, the church's alms box and the servant's Christmas box, they kind of ran side by side for centuries. But it was really the Victorian era that solidified everything. The Victorians loved order and formalizing traditions, and they turned these customs into the holiday we recognize today. And all of a sudden, the idea of giving a box as a thank you just exploded. It went way beyond the walls of the big houses and became this huge social custom. Pretty soon, everyone was giving a little gift or a tip, their own version of a box, to the local postman, the milkman, and other tradespeople on the day after Christmas, as a thank you for their service all year. And you can really see how this just snowballed right here. The tradition gets super popular in the early 1800s, the name Boxing Day really starts to catch on, and then boom, you get to the crucial year 1871. With the Bank Holidays Act, this informal act of gratitude was officially written into the national calendar. It wasn't just a nice thing to do anymore. It was a public holiday. But the story doesn't just stop in Britain. Not by a long shot. As the British Empire spread across the globe, it didn't just export goods and politics. It exported its culture. It took its customs, its sports, and its holidays right along with it, spreading Boxing Day all over the world. And that's exactly why, today, Boxing Day is a major holiday in so many Commonwealth countries. But what's really fascinating is how each one has made it their own. In Canada, it's a massive day for shopping and ice hockey. In Australia and New Zealand, it often means firing up a barbecue on the beach and watching a huge cricket match. The historical root is the same, but the modern traditions, they're totally unique. So this really brings us full circle, doesn't it? We started with a holiday that was born from two really powerful acts of generosity: charity for the poor and gratitude for workers. And now it's a global festival of shopping and sports. So the big question is, what's actually left of that original spirit? Is any of it still there? This table just lays out the transformation so clearly. The box went from being a symbol of gratitude to being a product you buy in a store. The act of giving shifted from being a kind of social duty to a personal consumer choice. And the day's main activity? It went from rest and duty to sports and shopping. It's a shift that pretty much perfectly mirrors the rise of consumer culture over the last 100 years or so. And yet, even though the holiday looks completely different on the surface, that moral memory is still there, isn't it? If you dig deep down, it's a day that still reminds us, even faintly, to be grateful for the people who serve us all year round, and to maybe think about our responsibility to those in need. You could almost say the ghost of generosity still haunts the shopping malls. And that really just leaves us with this final thought. Boxing Day began as this powerful reminder that the spirit of Christmas isn't just for one day, and it's not meant to be kept locked up inside our own homes. It's all about sharing that joy outward. So maybe the next time you hear Boxing Day, you'll think not just of the sales, but of that simple, really powerful idea that joy is only truly complete when you share it. Thanks so much for joining me.